Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions, worlds of TV, film, sports, pop culture, everything really depending on the guests. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is the captain of UMass, who just won a national championship with the UMass men's hockey team. Jake Gaudet is with us. Jake, welcome to Popternative, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I mean, this interview has been like 5 years in the making, which is pretty crazy. But I guess it was worth the wait, right? There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. It's like I kept getting pushed off for a reason. Here we are.
Has it hit you that you were a national champ through this season? That's just been kind of like a roller coaster from beginning to end, man.
Slowly, yeah. It's starting to set in a little bit. We're not quite there, but it's like a day by day process at this point.
What was the mindset as soon as you were named the captain for UMass this season, and how did that kind of play out throughout the whole season, leading to this national championship?
Yeah, I think it's a huge responsibility. It's an honor. Something that, I was really excited for the challenge. And looking at our team, we didn't quite have as much high-end talent, I think, that we had in previous years. But I was really excited about the depth, and Carvey made that clear when I accepted kind of the role as captain, that we need to have kind of a unified vision as a team. And especially with COVID, kind of dealing with all that stuff as well has been a bit of a hassle. So all of those things, all encompassing to get to the final game and take it home as a team. I'm extremely proud of the team and all the guys and how hard they've worked all year.
You've been playing at UMass for a good amount of time right now. Talk a little bit about this group going into this kind of unprecedented times of COVID-19 and everything, and talk a little bit about the adversity that the group faced on the ice as well, not just kind of with the restrictions and everything.
Yeah, like I said, we got a very deep team this year, but we don't have we have a few blue chip prospects, but we don't have a Cale Makar this year. I think when we made it to Frozen Four before, a lot of that success was kind of accredited to him. And I think this year making it back and sealing the deal, it kind of accredits the program and how hard we work and how structurally sound we've been. And doing that without kind of a Cale is a big testament, like I said. But like to answer your question, it's been really hard this year. We've sacrificed a ton as a team. We didn't go home for Christmas. We didn't have Thanksgiving. So guys have been here since the middle of August, and just to test 3 times a week, to stay away from other people, to kind of abide by all the rules, and to work hard and kind of keep our heads down to take home a trophy. It almost feels like it was all worth it, and we battled for a reason all year.
Who did you mention? Cale Makar? I don't think I've heard of him. Cale Makar, who?
Yeah, just some guy who plays hockey in Colorado.
Have you guys spoken to him at all?
Yeah, we FaceTimed him from the locker room after the game, so he was pretty jazzed up. A couple of the other guys too. We talked to John Leonard and Mario and Mitchell Chafee, guys that have been here or would have been here 4 years, right? But obviously left. They're all pretty happy, and especially to get the chance to beat Duluth, who we lost to 2 years ago, was pretty special for a lot of us.
Father, Eric Faith from Carp, Ontario, is, a teammate of yours as well. Does it kind of help when you have guys from around the area? It's a given. It kind of helps, the comfortability, guys that you maybe played against or from the Ontario area. What's that like, having 2 players from the Ottawa area on a national championship team?
It was cool, especially another CCHL guy. You don't see a ton of them in Hockey East, but to get to play with Fader and kind of share UMass with him was awesome. And I think just from a recruiting standpoint, Carvey brings in really good people, which makes it a ton of fun to be a part of this team because everyone's friends. We all hang out. So to have Eric come in and be a part of it was really exciting, and to share that with him is awesome.
And I'm pretty sure I have it right, but you started your junior career in what is called now the Eastern Ontario Junior Hockey League, which is CCHL Tier 2, which is, they say Junior B, but it was with Arnprior, correct?
I started the season for the Golden Knights, and then I got traded to Arnprior. Yeah, I got traded to Arnprior like December 3rd, I think.
So that's important, right? Because that kind of what starts it all, that transition from playing, in the CCHL Tier 2 and then going to play for Kemptville, because that kind of starts it all. That you get, what's the mindset in that year, where like the last kind of stretch in Junior B, making that jump to Junior A? That's an important pivotal time of your career, Jake.
Yeah, and I think for a long time I wasn't my goal was to play junior A after I got drafted. I got cut from AAA, I think minor bantam, major bantam, or I played minor bantam, but then major bantam, minor midget, major midget. I got cut from AAA. So I got drafted to Kempville, and the goal was to play there. And I decided to play for the Golden Knights. I got traded to Arm Prior. I got to play a few games that year for Kempville and got called up. And it felt like it was something that I could do the following year and just kind of jump up and play junior A and see where I could take it from there. And, it was a bit of a battle with my parents at the time just to take a year off school and to pursue junior hockey. But obviously very glad I did.
Absolutely. Now, this is more of kind of like a statement. It's something that I've seen, and you can kind of comment on that rather than a question. But I've known you for quite a bit right now, and I work around the rinks. I've seen you around the rinks. I could say, like, I've seen it even before COVID, especially in the summer. You were on the ice. Like, Jake Gaudet was on the ice like almost every day, kind of working. Like, I've never seen a player just kind of like focus on just hockey in the summer. Is it safe? Like, you put the work in, man. Is it safe to say that like you basically that was on your mind? Like, the summer was obviously like going fishing with the boys and everything before pandemic and everything, but the summer was about the ice. Let's be honest. Like, you're at the ice a lot.
Yeah. I think, yeah, when you get home, I'm pretty tunnel vision a little bit, especially with training. And I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of trying to get better. And it's something that, I find joy in, and it's something that has gotten me to this level. And I think I appreciate that in order to keep going, you got to kind of double down and work hard. And I've got a great support network in Ottawa that, has helped me a ton. Sean Young and Canadian Strength, and Nick Haines at Capital Strength, Patty Malloy, tons of people that I have a ton of fun training with, and I've been really grateful to get to work with.
Getting back to the CCHL, this is a league, like you said, in Hockey East that doesn't happen as much. But, you look at some of the players of the past couple of years that have played, NCAA, that have played in the OHL, that have played, at the World Juniors, like Devin Levi was Mainstream Canada. One thing that I've kind of noticed is that is becoming year after year a harder league to kind of play in and to score in as a forwards perspective, because the goaltending is amazing. When I was doing Cumberland, like the last year of it being Cumberland Grads, the play-by-play, that you were playing for Kempville 73s that year with Bobby Dow and everything, and that was Cam Crotty's first year playing Brockville. That was like the first year I saw the league really kind of like pivot and level up a little bit. Did you notice that a little bit? Like 3-4 years ago, it kind of took a different level, the CCHL?
I think so. I mean, I noticed it's funny too, right? Because your perspective changes. Like at 18, you're like, oh my God, everyone's huge. These are guys that are committed. And then at 20, you're kind of like, all right, like you're talking to a few schools, you can kind of figure it out from there. But yeah, I think so. I mean, I loved playing there. I was able to stay at home. I was surrounded by a pretty good support network. I was able to train at the same gym I trained at in the summer, which was awesome. But yeah, I had a great experience in Kempville, and I joined Kempville with the aspirations of playing junior A. And then from there, kind of just kept pushing and going forward, and ultimately ended up playing D1.
I think I've left you off the hook a little bit with kind of easy questions. I'm going to ask you a little bit of a harder question right now, but you're a hockey guy. You're a down-to-earth guy, so I'm sure you'll be able to say this. I mean, you're seeing a lot of players succeed and not succeed in hockey because of adapting to roles and situations that they're not necessarily comfortable. They go in junior, they're the big goal scorer. They go to college, they're not the goal scorer anymore. They need to be the sandpaper, even though they're not used to doing that. Is it safe to say that we're at a point right now, even before the pandemic, Jake, where you have to be able to kind of adapt and listen, even though it's not going to be glamorous a lot of the times? And that's kind of the reason why certain guys are, getting higher up in getting more kind of comfortable with the and possible one step closer to being pro because they're able to adapt. Is it safe to say that?
I think so. I think at any level you're at, you have to be able to, well, you got to earn everything. Like, you're not going to show up to a team. You don't expect to get first line power play, first line, whatever. Right. And if teams are telling you that, usually they're completely full of it, and you'll show up and, you'll end up buried on the third line or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, you just have to appreciate that all the good opportunities that you're going to get, you're going to have to work for. And when you do, it just makes them that much more enjoyable. I think for me, I got cut. I played AA for a long time, and having that kind of early on in my career, for whatever reason, I think, I was just very appreciative to be playing at the levels I've been playing at. And, every opportunity that comes, you just got to take it and run with it.
Absolutely. obviously your role, because you come in young and you're playing at UMass the 4 years later, but like, do you think your role in terms of what you could do as a forward changed over the years? Obviously the minutes changed, but like, did the role in terms of what kind of player you were change at all, Jake?
I think a little bit. When I came here to UMass, my role's been pretty set in stone. I think with Carvey being a solid two-way center. And when I came in, we had 13 freshmen. You know, they'd won 5 games the year before, so there's a ton of opportunity to play. And I was able to kind of to use that and get some minutes and try and develop as much as I could and build a good relationship with Carvey, which is obviously paid off through the 4 years.
Absolutely. So I need to ask, because I've known you for many years. You're a big podcast guy, pop culture guy, and everything. I'm sure there's a lot of times where you guys are just kind of in the room, not sure what's going on. You guys are watching a lot of things. What have you been kind of watching and binging during this whole kind of national championship run, Jake?
Yeah, I haven't. I'm trying to think. I watched a few shows on Netflix. I watched Behind Her Eyes. It's kind of a creepy one.
Yeah.
That just came out, I think.
I wasn't expecting you to say. I just watched that one recently too, but I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, I haven't got into like a good show that I've really been into in a long time. I read, do some other things. We've played cards here a bunch, just all the guys kind of getting together. So that's been killing a bunch of time. But if I had to pick one, like, I think True Detective season 1 might be up there on my list of favorite shows. Yeah,
it's a good one for sure. It's interesting because, you know, I can't even imagine what it's kind of been like, the ups and downs, the kind of stalls throughout this whole run with like COVID testing and everything. It must have been just insane. I mean, you kind of knew with everything going on, and we've been dealing with this pandemic for almost 2 years now. You know what I mean? I think you knew, but like, I mean, this is just at a whole nother level, and now you're a national champ. You said it's starting to sink in a little bit as well, but can you talk a little bit about just like, we talked about on the ice, but like off the ice, it's just been probably crazy just adapting to all the protocols and everything.
Yeah, especially, so we won the regional to get to the Frozen Four. So we won in Bridgeport. We beat Lake Superior State and Bemidji State, and you know, we're flying. It was like, we couldn't have been higher, right? The guys were going to the Frozen Four. The teams felt great. I think we won like 5-1 and 4-0, so we were rolling. And then I think that weekend, whether it was Friday or Saturday, we got a text at like 9:45, and it was like team meeting at 10:15 on Zoom. You're like, oh my God, there's only one thing this could possibly be.
That's not a quick. That's a small window.
Yeah, you're like, oh no, here it comes. And sure enough, we had a guy test positive. The first one actually all year. We've been great all year, and I think because Amherst has been a bit of a farm town, we're pretty sheltered, I think, from interacting with a ton of people. But yeah, we had a COVID test, and for the next 2 days, you know, we were all just miserable. It's like, oh my God, we might not get to go. But throughout the whole playoffs, even, it kind of just felt like there was this positive momentum about the team. It was just felt like it was going to happen. Like good things were happening, and I think a lot of us, you know, we just knew if we were going to get the chance to come to Pittsburgh, we were going to find a way to get it done.
You're doing a lot of media, obviously, throughout this thing, you know, whether it's on Zoom, you know, from distance at the rink. Has anyone I'm curious, because, you know, journalists have angles and everything, and I'm really curious. I think you're going to say yes. Has anyone asked you as the captain of UMass if you felt you had a responsibility to kind of be the captain off the ice a little bit too, like making sure people follow protocols and stuff? Did anyone ask you anything like that?
A little bit. But yeah, and also like just about it being a challenge to get the guys together. Like it's an important part this year. Guys are separated from their families. We're the only people here, right? So figuring out ways where we can spend time together and kind of bond, but also following the guidelines and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Jake, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I'm really happy we were finally able to get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
Congratulations, man. National champ. I mean, you know, last question too. I mean, the next steps. I mean, I know, you know, you want to go pro. That is the point of all of this. That's what you're doing right now. I mean, what kind of player is a team that signs Jake Gaudet getting with Jake Gaudet?
Yeah, I think you're getting a really hardworking two-way center. Skate well, going to play well defensively. Good locker room guy. But yeah, no, I think my game will adapt well to the pro level. We'll be able to play two-way and chip in offensively when I can.
Amazing. Where can people follow you on social media, keep up to date with everything? Instagram, Twitter?
Instagram. I'm actually Twitterless, so
Oh.
Instagram's great. It's jgods18. A lot of fish pics.
Have you always been Twitter? Like, I thought you had Twitter at one point.
Yeah, I Twittered for a while,
Okay.
and then it was just I don't know. I was wasting a lot of time
it is
on
a
there.
lot of fish pics. It really is.
Yeah.
That's what you're gonna
Yeah.
get. Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Jake Gaudet, the national champ from UMass, and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.